Imagine if you can work, something what I shared yesterday, begin with the end in mind. 3 years from now when I graduate, let me decide, if at all if I want to take an employment, which employer do I want to get into. I don't need to give the choice of being rejected to someone else. I would rather shortlist today that these are the 3 jobs, these are the 3 organizations, these are the locations I want. To get this, what do I have to do? Then my personality composition becomes quite easy for me. Now having understood this, let us look at another example and then I will connect to this as to what are the 4 steps involved for us in this lifelong learning cycle. Let's imagine a huge closed gate community. In this closed gate community, there is a home, there are parents, and they are, you can say, single parents, or rather what you call as husband, wife, and a small kid of about 2.5 years. The kid has just started learning how to walk. One day when both parents are not there at home, the kid starts walking around, and as it comes out, it sees a huge pool of water. It doesn't know what it is, it has never seen water before. It is not being monitored, so it just goes for a walk. And suddenly it gets interested because it finds people are floating from water from one end to another end. It's also excited, gets into water when nobody is noticing, and what happens to the kid typically? Drowns. Let us say that somebody picks the kid out. The first thing the parents tell the kid is to move from point A to point B in water which is deeper beyond your height. You need to know something called as swimming. All along, the kid was never aware of this. He just thought, just have to get in and go like this. After all, many of our religious people have done that, walking on water. Last week I was watching something on YouTube where a magician has been doing that. He just walks on water and people just stand and take photographs. If you can do a search, it's one of the top videos which is showing up on YouTube last week. What it went through is what we all go through when we are exposed to a situation. What in learning parlance we call as unconscious incompetence, UI in short form. I am not aware that I am not aware. In pure simple management or normal English parlance, we call it as ignorance. I am not aware that I am supposed to know swimming for me to get into water. Okay, fine. Now I have gone out of the state of ignorance. What am I supposed to do next? I have become aware of my ignorance. I have been shaken out. We move to the state of conscious incompetence. I am aware that I am not competent to do this job. When a manager, when a person, you are suddenly, for example, Dr. Jayashree calls you and says, do this task for you. Tomorrow you are supposed to do this. And you have been exposed to the task and suddenly you find you don't have the competencies to do that. You are in a stage of what is called as unconscious incompetence. Now you are sitting and thinking, okay, I am supposed to know this. This is my conscious incompetence. At least I am aware what I don't know. In a SWOT parlance, this is what is called as weakness. A weakness that you are not aware of is ignorance. A weakness that you are aware of is awareness. Okay, what do I do now? If I am the kid who went into the swimming pool and father has told me that you must learn swimming for you to be able to swim, the kid has 2 choices to make. Either he can decide to pursue or decide, I don't want it. Let's take that the kid takes a decision to pursue. This is what I spoke yesterday morning. A skill set is nothing but knowledge in action. The kid now gets a coach, gets into the water, practices. It builds up consciously. When you learnt to do your bike for the first time, you had to know when to leave the clutch, when to engage the brake, when to accelerate, when to decelerate, when to apply the brake, when to look into the mirror. All these things we are doing consciously. A conscious competence is when by repetitive performance you build up by applying that knowledge and make it as a skill set. Would it be sufficient? No. Today, many of you who come by bike, yesterday I was just overhearing a conversation, one of you was sitting here, that person is still in front of me. He said, I rode to the college in less than half an hour time. I made it fast. Which meant that person didn't have to even think how to ride. It's something automatic. Let us imagine that this kid is now 15 years old. It is now become an aquatic champion of Tamil Nadu state. Does it have to remember while getting into water how to swim, how to put my hand, how to breathe, what is front stroke, what is back stroke, what is freestyle? Doesn't have to remember. It becomes automatic. This is the stage we call it as unconscious competency, or you become an expert. For many of us here, those speakers that you saw yesterday and today, all you have to do is wake us up, give us a topic name, we can get on and start off. Almost all topics. Even if you have to do something, a topic you are not comfortable, at least we will ensure you don't know. That is our unconscious competency. All you have to do is just put us here. Likewise, each one of you will have an unconscious competency with each one of you. Find it. Unconscious competencies, according to Dr. Prahalad, are what are called as core competencies. The core competency, what makes a person. This is what your real strength is. But strength alone will not help. For example, all of you have finished MBA today. While you are doing MBA, right across your campus, there are people who are going through a 5-year intense course to become doctors. If they have to become MBAs at the end of 3 years, or some of you want to choose to become doctor, you cannot transfer that knowledge straight away at that level and become the other expert. You have to start afresh. The common thread which unites all of us in this journey is to fit into any role. I have two choices to make. I can be proactive, I can be reactive. A reactive role acceptance is when you are pushed into the role. It's like someone pushing into the water, and now because you are exposed, you start learning how to swim. Whereas a proactive approach is when I decide what my goals are. Hence, goal setting becomes a proactive exercise, not a reactive exercise. This is why corporates, to a great extent, are driven by goals. And they all know that people love to be reactive. Hence, they put the goals on you so that you are forced to change forcibly. Yet your personal personality doesn't change much. So if you have to look at the 4-step lifelong learning cycle, all you have to do is decide where you want to be 2 years, 3 years from now, once you finish your graduation. At least for those who are live audience here. Those who are watching through the web, in 2 to 3 years from now, in your career, decide what you want to be, where you want to be, work backwards, map your core competencies, delete the goal and the strengths, and find out what are the empty boxes, take it forward, become an expert. I am sure that you will soon be a winner. Thank you.